5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hey everybody, welcome back to Bella Talks TV. This is Amanda Bella, and I missed you guys. It's been 2 weeks now, I think. I wasn't able to record an episode last week because I decided to go to Costa Rica with my husband for work. If you guys are following me on Instagram, you might have seen that I was there over the week, and yeah, it was really a relaxing vacation for once. Even though he was there for work, we found some time to still just relax, like in the Airbnb, in the hotel, and just kind of like took it easy on this trip. I did a little bit of touristy stuff, but mostly just tried to lay by the pool, hang out in the hotel, just relax and try to enjoy some time because unfortunately things do not ever slow down for us. We have just accepted that we're very insane and we can't stay still. And that's why him and I are a good match, because we just always want to be out doing things and having experiences. So after we just got back from Costa Rica. And then I'm like, what day is it even? Okay, the 22nd. Yeah, so my next trip is going to be going to Michigan for my niece's first birthday. If you guys remember on the last episode, I was telling you that my niece's name is Aurora, and we call her Rory for short, which I think is so cute. And yes, her first birthday is going to be coming up, and I'm going to be going back to Michigan. And, you know, we're all anxiously awaiting if Gypsy Rose is going to be naming her baby girl Aurora. And I just had some breaking news actually before I got into record. I'm like, okay, let me just do one last flip through Instagram to make sure that there's no breaking news and stuff before I go on Do Not Disturb and come and sit here with you guys, because this might be like a supersized episode. I expect to be here for a minute. I've got a glass of wine. I'm in full Amanda Bella mode tonight. I'm having a little Sauvignon Blanc, and I'm going to be recording. I mean, I don't even want to like give you a spoiler yet, but this is going to be a different and new exciting episode. So hopefully you're just here to be on this journey with me and Candy, because you know my co-host is in the building. She's over here looking out the window. I'm not even going to move the camera setup because I actually have things like looking good in here now. You can see I've been trying to work on just making the room cute and having like a space dedicated just to record in here versus me just like laying on the couch and recording, which you guys know I love to do, but trying to keep this profesh and trying to do my best to really make this like a legitimate show that you guys are watching. If you guys are here on video and enjoying the space with Candy and I, cheers to that. And if you're just listening on audio, this is going to be a great episode. So let's just, jump right into it. So like I was saying with Gypsy, oh God, where do I even start with Gyps? I needed to take a wine before I get into this. So take a sip. So, okay, we left off with Gypsy. Really, she is not even on my top 5 countdown. She's not my LOL. She's not my OMG. I was like, I'm not going to cover any more Gypsy on the show. She's not on TV anymore. And I can't help it, you guys. So hopefully I've got people that are even just coming here just to talk about Gypsy, because I don't really know any other podcasters. If you do have other podcasters, actually, one good podcast episode I did listen to was the Bravo investigator. I know her real name is Dana Reagan, but I think it's her Instagram handle is the Bravo investigator, and then her podcast is I Take Bravo Very Seriously. She actually did an episode with Kara Berry, which I'm forgetting her handle now too. Kara's is Everyone's Business But Mine. So Kara and Dana did an episode on Gypsy, which was really good. I enjoyed that one a lot. So I'll link that in the description. You guys, if you're Gypsy fans, you need more Gypsy conversation, go listen to that one. That was a good one. But yes, okay, so I digress. I was on Instagram. I'm like, let me do a little flipsy before I log on to do the show. And I see Gypsy. I mean, she's been pretty active lately. Like, she has been posting weekly bump updates. And then she's also been talking about the pregnancy a lot on lives. And, you know, we know she's very active on TikTok. And I don't know if you guys, remember that I am a geriatric millennial and I do not use TikTok, but I'm getting into it and I'm about to post my first TikTok ever. I've been, collecting some little media samples to make my first TikTok. So go follow me at Bella Talks TV on TikTok also. But I've been over there, getting my For You page curated with lots of Gypsy Rose and lots of Bravo content. And then I'm trying to think of like what other random stuff I've been seeing on my For You page now that I'm getting into it. I don't think really too much. A lot of obviously entertainment news and just stuff that it's not like too wacky yet. So I'm excited to see where my TikTok will take me. But I know Gypsy's very active on there. She only has like 16 posts or something on her Instagram, like 16 grid posts. Now, mind you, she has only been out of prison since January. That's like 2-ish, 2 to 3 grid posts per month since she's been out. So she's not like grid posting all day long. She's not in her stories all day long. She's not really like big on Instagram. She's more on her TikTok lives. I think that's probably maybe because of monetizing. I saw somebody who estimated she's making about $200,000 a month right now on, who knows if that's even true or how that would ever be calculated, but they're thinking that's how much she's making in revenue on her TikTok. Between that and other brand deals and stuff, it seems like Gypsy is raking it in. But she posted a little story post today, a little grid post, and it's her on a boat. And I'm assuming like Lake Charles or down in Cutoff somewhere. Maybe it's Rod's boat. I'm not unclear whose boat she was on, but she's on a boat and it's a 3 carousel grid post. And the first one is her doing a selfie, a little bit pouty, like not too duck face, but like just a little kissy face, and then giving a little demure, a very cutesy peace sign. And then I think the next one is of just like the water. And then the third one's of just like the sunset. So the really one of her just doing the little duck face is the main grid post. And I just, love to analyze what she's thinking and what she's doing. Like, love her. But sometimes she's obviously so cringe, sometimes she doesn't really understand, I think, the social perception yet of what some of these posts make us spiral for. And it's just like, Gypsy, you should be posting, more. I don't know. I know she's just a girl. Gypsy's just a girl. Okay. I'm sitting here and now I feel bad that I'm making her feel, bad for her content not being so great. But it just seems like she's stuck like in the age that she was when she went through this. Like, how sometimes you can just get frozen when you have a traumatic experience and like the age that you were. So I'm just kind of getting that. Also, like not only the age that she was, but the year that it was. And a lot of people don't realize that a lot of people think Gypsy was a little girl when she plotted this to happen to Dee Dee. But she wasn't. She was 23 years old and she was actually pretending to be 19 years old, but she was still an adult. So there's just a lot of weird stuff around that. But she just feels that 19-year-old age to me still. And it kind of just feels like it's still that year. She does this little duck face. And I, of course, I can't help myself. I'm like, let me repost this to my story. And then I put like me after I have 2 glasses of wine, which is very accurate. And then I put the song Strawberry Wine by Dina Carter. Like I just knew the combination of like those 3 things. Like, okay, I'm going to repost this. I'm going to kind of make it like memey, like lighthearted, which I'm not sure how much like positive feedback she gets. And then I think the song, like just knowing that I was like, thinking in Gypsy's mind, like what song would she post? And sure as hell, I post it. And like 3 seconds later, I see that she views my story. And I'm like, oh my God, Gypsy now has made contact with me. Like I'm flying a little too close to the sun, which is what I'm always afraid of. But she looks at my story and then I'm like, oh my God, I immediately, my heart's racing. I like almost like shut my phone and like threw it on the desk and then like had to like pick it back up and reopen it and like unlock it again and like look again. I'm like, okay, so now she's aware. I know that she's aware of me and we know that, or maybe you don't know, but I know because I'm so obsessed and constantly consuming content about her that she really is dialed into the content creators that are covering her. And she talks about them, she DMs them, she reaches out to them herself with information. And, other people talk about how they hear, it's a lot. She's in the DMs and she's living in the comment section. So I think just a combination of me knowing that like normally it would be like in passing, like, oh, okay, like the time Khloe Kardashian liked my story, I was like, okay, it was like a minute in time. Literally, she'll never think about me again. She doesn't remember me. She's not sitting at home, but Gypsy is different. Gypsy does almost like keep a little black book of like all the content creators that are following her because she's very, very controlling and narcissistic in that way. Gypsy, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, girl. But, you are. And I think that you cannot handle the idea that there's like narratives or like other things out about you that you can't control that are negative and about Ken and everything. I think it does kind of make you spiral. So yeah, just kind of knowing that she knows that I exist now and that, she didn't follow me. I think if that happened, I would probably, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably be excited. I wouldn't be like scared or anything. I'm not saying anything I'm not one of these. I'm not flawless Nina out here, which if you know. She's one of Gypsy's like arch nemesis on TikTok. So yeah, that just kind of like made my day to know. I wasn't even going to cover her, like I said, but then that happened right before I was going to record. So cheers to Gyps. Okay, so moving on to other news that's going on. I mean, we have so much stuff happening. I feel like it's been a really good week, and I think people now are starting to get overwhelmed with the amount of new television that is going to be coming out. I mean, there's a ton of new shows being released, new seasons, trailers galore, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the episode. But let's get into my OMG of the week. I mean, I don't really think I have too many other things to cover in the opening. Let me see. I'm going to the Bravo Fan Fest in Miami again. Hit me up if you're going. If you are going to the NYC watch party for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, they are doing a pre-screening of the first episode and a party, and I'm pretty excited to go to that. So that's like September 12th, I think, and I will be at that, or maybe the 10th, something like that. And then this weekend, actually, I am going to be and I will be rubbing elbows with some Bravo Lebs. So you guys are going to have to stay tuned for the story. I don't want to jinx it, and I don't want to also like speak too soon when I'm not 100% sure how it's going to go. But just let's all manifest together that I'm going to be ending up somewhere around the cast and crew when I'm out there this Saturday. So yeah, I think that's all I really have going on. So, okay. So a couple things. Let's get into the OMG of the week. Let's start with the LOL of the week. I want to start light, and then we'll go a little darker, and then we'll get into some of the fun stuff with the countdown. It was actually kind of like a slower week as far as like scandals will go, which is kind of nice and giving us like a break. I think after New Jersey, we were all kind of needing to have like a vacation. Like when I was in Costa Rica, I was still obsessed with consuming like every podcast about New Jersey and all of the takes of all of the reunion and the Off the Rails special. And I wanted to hear like every podcaster's reactions and predictions for next season. And I kind of like went way down the rabbit hole there. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming up for air. I'm going to start looking forward to like new shows and things that are happening in the future. But I'm actually really sad New Jersey is over. I really enjoyed this season. I love when housewives get to this like camp level of things. And I don't know, I was really sad to see it go. I wish they would have been able to like squeeze out like 4 more episodes, but it's very obvious that the producers came in and they were like, this is bad. This is getting really bad. We got to get out of here. So they cut their losses. Okay, let's start with the LOL of the week. This is kind of like a little bit of a detour from my typical LOLs of the week, but I wanted to make sure I covered this because the TV that I have been watching this week and laughing at the most, I've been straight lolling to the DNC. Like I've been watching the live coverage of the Democratic National Convention every single night. I lived in Chicago for 10 years. I've been to the United Center many times. Like I used to live and work walking distance from the United Center. That's like my hood. And I just love watching the coverage, and I'm like almost watching the crowds, like looking for like people that I know. Like I always have a complex that like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to know somebody there. Like, is that, oh, so-and-so? But I just like love that it's in Chicago. I know that they hold a lot of the national conventions in the Midwest, Milwaukee, Chicago, places like that, Iowa. Those are the people of America, and that's where I am from. So I love seeing the Midwest coverage. But this whole DNC has just been amazing. And the memes that are coming out of it too are killing me. So just all of the rhetoric and the LOLZ around the DNC have been great. A couple of specific moments, I think, were Pritzker, speaking of Chicago, JB Pritzker, he was elected governor when I was still living in Chicago. And actually, one of the offices that I worked at had a lot of clients that worked on his campaign or also worked in the Democratic, field there in politics. And we worked right next to, we were in River North. If you guys are from Chicago, like that's just the area of town that's known for being all commercial. So it was just a really interesting place to work in. And I had a lot of really cool people that I met through work. And JB Pritzker was just something that was very present when you live there. If you don't know, his entire family is the heir to the Hyatt hotels. And he and his entire family is really rich. They are, it's probably corrupt AF. Let's, allegedly. It probably is, because when a family has that much money, is that powerful, and is in politics, you can only imagine the things that are going on. But anyways, he is Democratic governor, and I kind of love him. He's a big, jolly, Santa looking guy. And he's just a really easily likable Democrat. And his speech was one of my favorites that I've seen so far. I mean, I would say it's a tie between Hillary Clinton and JB Pritzker so far for my favorite speeches. But I was dying laughing at Pritzker. He was up there and he was actually brought up how Trump was talking about how, and by the way, if you're just now realizing, is this a politics podcast? Yeah, it fucking is. It's whatever I want it to be, because this is my space. I created this platform to literally talk about my opinion. And I am going to stand 10 toes down on anything I say on here that is truly just my opinion. And if you don't like it, then I'm sorry. It's just not the place for you. You're never going to hear any pro, MAGA stuff on here. You're never going to hear me say a nice thing about Donald Trump, and you're never going to, hear me just support that. So if that is what you support and you can't stand to bear to listen to me or watch me, sorry to lose you, but I just can't. I will not change myself to fit and be more digestible. So just to warn everybody now, this is a liberal podcast. So yeah, the DNC is a laugh riot. Pritzker has jokes, and he's up there talking about how Trump has wanted to inject bleach as a solution to COVID. He's up there talking about how he's an actual billionaire and Donald Trump just bankrupt, and how the only thing he's rich in is in stupidity. And he just had me rolling laughing. He was a stand-up comedian up there. So one of my favorite moments. I also loved Hillary's speech. Again, one of my favorite lines that my husband and I will just text each other this in the middle of the day randomly and just be like, Donald Trump fell asleep at his own trial. Because Hillary's talking about, of course, the contrast between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, which it could not be more different. But she's going through all of these differences, and just hearing her be like, Donald Trump fell asleep at his own trial. And when he woke up, he made history as the first convicted felon to run for president. And it's been great. It's been awesome seeing everybody up there being so lighthearted, laughing, and just it's very Brat vibes. It's very Kamala coconut tree vibes. And that's what they're bringing to the DNC. I've been loving it. Last night they did, or 2 nights ago was the night that Obama spoke. Both the Obamas spoke. And, of course, in my opinion, Michelle's was better. I think even Barack said when he came out, he was like, I'm the only one who's either brave enough or stupid enough to follow Michelle, because Michelle's the best public speaker ever. There was one meme you guys have to go follow if you're, liking what I'm saying and you want to follow a politics page and some funny politics memes. Some of my favorite girls that I know that run the Real Housewives of Politics page, RHOPOL, shout out Mel, Nell, Reggie. Those girls are running a really funny page over there, and they have this one meme of Hillary, or it says when Hillary came out on stage at the DNC, and it's Dorinda. It's Dorinda. It's one of those promo videos for Real House Ultimate Girls Trip, from the RHONY Real Trip or whatever, when she is doing a promo video, and it's actually Sam Smith and Kim Petras, Unholy, and it's Dorinda dancing and seductively walking down this catwalk. Oh my God. It's one of my favorite memes. I'm going to I have it saved on my phone. Oh yeah, this is one thing I was thinking about doing too. On this show, there's no rules on this show. do whatever I want. So one thing I want to do is just like start playing videos and stuff and like reactions. So let's just see if I can pull up this meme now of Dorinda because it's fucking hilarious. And we'll see if I can show you it. Okay, yeah. RHOPOL, Instagram. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's just a hilarious meme. So I just love content creators and I love the internet. So yeah, my LOL of the week, the DNC, it's not over yet. Tonight is the final night where Kamala will go up and officially accept her nomination as the president. So please, like, I think we're all, like, I speak for everybody when I say I think we're ready for a woman president, right? We're ready. We're ready. It's a woman's world. And we're lucky to be living in it like the Katy Cats. All right, I'm really, really excited. Oh yeah, the rumor tonight is that Beyonce will be there. We'll see. I mean, I think everybody will be fucking gagged. I mean, so out of Taylor, Beyonce, and who's the other one that I'm like, Taylor, Beyonce, and J-Lo. F, marry, kill. I would Beyonce, marry Taylor, and kill J-Lo. Hot take, y'all. Sorry, not a J-Lo fan, and I've been sad to hear that her and Ben. I'm actually not too sad to hear that her and Ben are getting divorced, to be honest, because I never believed in Bennifer, and I know sometimes I'm so contrarian, and it probably seems that I just like hate powerful women, and that I'm like, oh, she just is threatened by because I'm always talking about how I'm not the biggest Taylor fan. I'm not the biggest Beyonce fan. My problem is that I think that they're all just like overrated. I don't think any of these people are like gods. And I don't think that any of them are truly like, I mean, to be honest, I had to laugh the other day on So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. I'm always dropping him. I'm always giving him shout outs because I love his podcast. But somebody asked him to name like 3 songs on the new Taylor album. But yeah, he was like, he named like a couple of songs. I was like, yeah, the last album wasn't really that good. It's been #1 for a long time. So not loving that. Now, Charlie, that's my girl. That is my girl. I'm more of a Jules LeBron fan than I am of a Beyonce fan. It's just more authentic to me. If you don't know who Jules LeBron is, she is the girl that created Very Demure, Very Mindful. See when I record my podcast? See when I have a little bit of wine? I'm not drunk like all you other podcasters. I'm just sipping. I'm very cutesy with it. Actually, I don't know any drunk podcasters. Do you? No, it's really hard to do it when you've had more than one glass of wine. Like, okay, yes. So that was my LOL of the week, the DNC. Let's move over to my OMG of the week. Like, left turn alert, hard left turn alert, but we're going to go over to the Real Houses of Dubai. So there's a episode that dropped yesterday or Tuesday that was the new episode of Real Houses of Dubai. Sarah Al-Madani, who is a very polarizing character on the Real Houses of Dubai. Some people love her, some people hate her. I know this is, again, when I say this is a political podcast, I'm kidding because I actually don't know shit. But I know with the war in Gaza, Palestine, everything that's going on, Sarah, I think, had some hot takes. So I just want to say I don't agree with Sarah's politics, but I do agree with her being a house of Dubai because she is delusional. It's like you can't really put your finger on it, but you just know something's off. Like I don't know if it's grifter vibes. I would say she's kind of like a grifter, but she's also kind of just like a dummy. So sometimes it's like ignorance is bliss, but I'm not sure if she's just playing dumb, if that makes sense. So she's a very interesting character. I like seeing her on my show. I love houses of all different cultures too. And I think it's really important that we have Muslim and Middle Eastern women on our housewives. It's important for everybody to see all cultures represented. And so people have some knowledge, it's like knowledge is power. You should know what's going on in the world and what people are like. So it shouldn't just be like living in your bubble. Now, but maybe you should, because sometimes I think that Sarah lives a little too online and she exposes a little bit too much and she's like willing to share and maybe like exploit her family a little bit too much. And I'm not 100% sure like
where this comes from, where this behavior comes from. I know that she's had some traumatic marriages. I know that being raised maybe the way that she was formed, you know, her to have this need to seek like outside approval or prove to everybody that she's smart, prove to everybody that she is worthy. Like she's always kind of trying to prove to everybody, but she doesn't really seem to have like self-love and self-worth. So that's a struggle. That's a struggle that all women, all people of the universe, you know, have. So she has dated, you know, some questionable men. I think she's had some men that, you know, are possibly dangerous living in the public eye. Maybe they married, maybe they are, you know, just not good. She doesn't have a good picker, put it that way. And I think that it shows that it's not really necessarily with men. She's kind of showing that she's having that lack of judgment with being friends with Caroline Brooks, because she kind of seems like she's a little wacky and not all there. And then she's kind of dating. And then now the story comes out, which is the OMG of the week, that she reveals on this latest episode that they come back from their Bali trip and she finds out that her maid has been living in their house, covering cameras up at night, having men come into Sarah's house and basically like rob the place, or also just like, what's it called when you go and you like scope it out before? Like they've been coming in and like checking the place out and getting it prepared to like do a crime. And they found out that, you know, upon looking in the maid's phone, like once Sarah found out that the maid was messing with the security cameras and that this was going on, they went to her phone and they found text messages between her, the maid, and these guys, these, you know, basically these thugs. And they decide to, you know, search her phone and they find evidence that she's been speaking to these people and giving them information about Maktoum, who little Maktoum is Sarah's son, who I am obsessed with. And he is such an important part of the Real Houses of Dubai, like one of my favorite characters. So I need him on the show. And he's just one of those Bravo kids that put a red light on him. He's a star. And they find out that there was basically this ransom plot and this kidnapping plot that was the maid was helping, because I'm sure that she was going to get a cut of this or whatever. And they were going to come and steal little Maki for ransom and try to extort Sarah. And thank God this whole thing got busted and they realized that this was going on. But now, of course, the little son is traumatized and everybody online is hating on Sarah for like exposing him to this knowledge and saying like he's too young to even know that this happened. Like, how did he know? But he had to testify with the Dubai police. Like, this woman has been prosecuted and it was in jail at the time of the filming. So, I mean, this is like a serious thing. And the fact that, yes, it's horrible that Maki had to go through this and that he's going to live with this for the rest of his life, but it's also like not his fault. He's a kid and it's not Sarah's fault either. Like, they handled it the best they could. And I think that they should be given a little bit of grace here. That's extremely scary. And I think that's something for all of these housewives to be thinking about. Like, even as much as Louis being around Teresa and her daughters and kind of like him being shady and being involved in alleged criminal activity and also just being a creep. Also, like, if you're watching me on the YouTube, I don't know if it's recording these thumb up signs that I like can keep getting on my screen, but apparently the computer and AI like loves what I'm saying right now. So just ignore those. But yeah, this is really scary that this has been exposed. I'm not sure what the current status is of this investigation, if it's been closed and if everybody has been served justice. But it's really something important for all housewives to be thinking about. All men on these shows that are kind of scary, kind of shady, kind of these like dirty John figures. I mean, these weren't even people on the show, but just these housewives are public figures. They are global. They're international superstars, baby. Like, people got to protect them. They need security. So just had to talk about that and just shed some light on that, because that is really, really scary. Let's take a little break here and then we're going to get into my top 5. Okay. Welcome back. So my number 5 countdown of the week is going to be a little bit different this week. And I'm excited to have you guys go on this journey with me. But one thing that I want to do, like I said, is kind of like try to interstitch some videos and a little bit more like interactive stuff on the show. So I hope that you guys will like that. And of course, like over time, it will become better quality and more consistent. And I was laughing at myself last time I was here. I was like, okay, I think Mondays are going to be the best day to release. Like, I'm going to record on Sundays. I'm going to do like a wrap up of the, top 5 most talked about moments of the whole prior week before, and then come here, we'll deliver on it. We'll tie it up with a bow, and then we'll start a new week on Monday. But I'm just realizing like my schedule is just so insane. I never know where I'm going to be. And I even took my recording and everything with me, all my equipment to Costa Rica. I was like, yeah, I'll record when I get there. But like, that's just not realistic. Sometimes, we're just very busy. Because I'm coming up, I have this trip to Michigan. As soon as I get back from Michigan, I will be in New York for a week. And then that will be the week that I'm here to do the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City watch party. So that week I will be in New York. And then the following week, I'm going to Florida for my mom's birth. I'm taking her down to Florida for her birthday with my aunt and my cousin. And I'm going to be down there for like 5 days. And then I'm also going to Disney like the following week. So I'm going to be in Florida for a little while. And then I'm coming back to New York, I believe. And then I'm going to Las Vegas because my husband has a work conference. And then I'm going to that emo music festival called When We Were Young. If you guys don't know, I'm a recovering emo girl. So I'm really excited to go to that music festival. I'm really praying that I'm going to have a Katie Maloney sighting. I don't know how maybe I'll DM her and ask her if she's going. Just can't hurt. I wonder if Emo Night is going to be there, which you guys know is like the DJ set that they played the emo music that the girls from VPR will be in on all the time. Some things to think about. So, and then that pretty much leads me up until like the holidays. So this is just my life and I'm going to do my best to be serving you this show no matter where I am and make it as consistent as possible. But okay, so again, getting into my top 5 countdown. So it is raining trailers. My number 5 most talked about moment of the week is we have been served like 5 new trailers and everybody's overwhelmed with the amount of new TV that's going to be coming out. I thought it would be kind of fun for us to watch a couple of the trailers and just get my like immediate reactions and we'll talk about it. So I'm hoping that the audio will work on this. And if not, I'm just going to like cut this entire segment out, but we will try our best here. Okay. So the first one I want to talk about is the new RHONY trailer. Okay, let's watch and then we'll discuss.
This season on the Real Housewives of New York City. I totally was in my hand. Puppy Instagram or puppy only? What? Anyone do it? Rebecca Box. Have you ever heard of it? If you're just not that was shady.
Okay, let's do a little pause there. Okay, so that last little bit that we just saw was the introduction of Rebecca Minkoff. So if you guys don't know, that is the fashion designer that is going to be featured as a friend of on the new Housewives of New York season. And she's a controversial figure. So the reason why people are having such a hard time accepting that she's going to be on the new season is that she is a registered Scientologist? Is that the terminology? She is a current Scientologist. She's an active Scientologist, an active member of the Scientology Church. Yeah, a lot of people don't like that. And as somebody who, if you guys, just to remind you, not to brag or anything, but I double majored in psychology and comparative religion. So like I have a very, very deep and passionate, I don't know what the word is, like voyeurism for people that are in anything from cults to religions, because cults people think of as just a psychological brainwashing, I'm always very interested in that. And then, again, not to offend anybody, like, again, this is my space and I'm going to try to speak freely, but just know that like, I don't have any malicious intent when I say this, but it's like, okay, there's cults and then there's religions. And it's like, okay, one of them is considered to be basically like socially acceptable. And guess which one that is? Religion. And that's fine. Like everybody has their own faith. And I believe in God. I believe in heaven. Like I'm not some like crazy atheist, that's out here believing that, I'm not somebody who's like, yeah, when you die, like you're just in the dirt. Like that is not me. But I'm just more spiritual because I've studied every religion of the world and I just have a very comprehensive view of like everybody's beliefs. And at the end of the day, they actually all kind of believe the same things. So yeah. So when it comes to Scientology, it doesn't really bother me. I just think that is what people do. Human nature is to try and explain things, try to make sense of them, try to understand them. That I think is impossible, or that is the most important part of evolution. And the way that we've came from cave people to Gen Z and beyond. Wait, what is the new one? Gen L? Like, what is the, I don't remember what the new kids are, the babies are born, but it's just the idea that like, you have to be curious, you have to continue to learn and evolve and create a better environment, a smarter environment, etc. The idea of Scientology, just so you guys know, is that, for lack of a better word, alien. I know when you say alien, it kind of sounds like the tall grays, the small grays. But really, when I say alien, it's like, okay, what Scientology believes, and it was created by L. Ron Hubbard, who's an author who basically created like all of the texts for this religion and wrote all of these books. And now people kind of look to them as like their sacred texts, such as like the gospel, the Bible in other religion, or the Torah or the Quran or whatever. Like, these sacred texts were written by L. Ron Hubbard, the sacred texts of Scientology. And the whole point of this is basically they believe like, okay, you don't really like live in your body. Like, you are using your body. You're kind of like an alien. You're kind of like a spiritual, whatever being that is just living in, you're just like using a human body to be on earth. And while you are on earth, you are to be constantly improving yourself and ridding yourself of what they consider just to be like your darkness, things that hold you back in life, like your fears, your traumas, your whatever. You're constantly going into Scientology and you're going to these centers. Everybody knows what these like famous Scientology centers and campuses. And you're going into these places, and the point is you're going to go in there. It's almost like a college campus. You're going to take classes. You're going to almost go to like seminars and conventions where you're going to be learning techniques and learning different, ways to basically improve yourself, what they call it. And then they also have a strong belief in this practice called auditing, which is where you sit down with other Scientologists that are ranked above you, who have achieved these new levels, kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like college, or I don't know, like it's hard to like give it a real comparison, but it's almost like the military also, where there's like rankings. So there's a lot going on over there. But they decide to basically start this process called auditing, and they tell you all the things that are wrong with you, and then you need to like basically go fix them. And then when you take these classes to learn how to fix them, you come back, you get audited again. And then as you start to like weed these negative things about you out, you start to like rank up higher. Rebecca's a Scientologist. So again, this is not a surprise that like a lot of celebrities, entrepreneurs, people like believe in this, because a lot of people that are in this field, in this level, this 1% of people, like they're constantly, when you get to be up there, like you don't want to lose it. You want to make sure that like you're doing everything you can to like grasp and stay in that position of power. So like you're going to try to find ways to make sure that you're like in the best position. You're kind of like the best version of yourself. So it's a very interesting religion in the way that it like brainwashes you into thinking that like you need the church in order to be the best version of yourself, when really like you should be able to do these things without having to give them all of your money and dedicate your life to them and like be in all these dark practices. Like religion shouldn't cost money. So that's why Scientology is very frowned upon, because it's kind of like a for profit. So yeah, don't come for me, Church of Scientology. Just allegedly on everything. And I'm not even going to talk about Shelley. I won't even bring her up. So I'll give you guys a pass. So yeah, okay, let's go back to the trailer.
Ever. I built $100 million company.
That's Rebecca.
Let's take you out on the walk. Yeah.
Okay, so I love Jenna Lyons. I won't ever say a bad word about her. I'm so happy. She wasn't the first lesbian housewife. That was Martina and Julia down on the Real Housewives of Miami. But I'm really, really happy. Actually, I mean, who came first, Bronwyn or the chicken or the egg? It's like, who came first, Bronwyn or Julia? No, Julia, I think, was the first housewife that was on the show as an open and out lesbian. So yeah, Jenna Lyons, love Jenna Lyons. And now they have this new girl, Raquel Chevron. I hope I'm not saying her name wrong. I don't really like to like Google people too much. I mean, like I said, I don't even really know that much about Rebecca Minkoff. I know more about Scientology than I know about Rebecca Minkoff. But I just think that, you know, they love to like bring these people in that really are like almost larger than life. And I don't want to know too much about them. Like I kind of like housewives that are like totally nobodies, like Rachel Fuda. Like I want a real housewife sometimes, not a celebrity housewife, but that's okay. And then I will say this. I know that this is a controversial point. This is a hot take, you guys, but I do like my housewives to at least have been married and divorced. Like the word wife, I know I'm basically like a wife. I don't want to say apologist. I don't know what the word is that I'm searching for, but elitist. Yes. I don't want to be like a wifey elitist where it's like, oh, I'm married, so like I'm better. But no, that's not what it is. It's just that if you're supposed to be a real housewife, like you're not a real housewife if you've never been a wife. Sorry. Okay. Back to the trailer. Oh, I was saying that about Brynn. I mean, that's the point I was trying to make. Brynn has never been married. She's, I guess, been engaged 3 times, maybe. I don't know.
Doing it there.
Oh God, Pavitt. Okay, in that scene, Jessel and Pavitt are sitting down and they're talking about having another kid. And Jessel's like, still saying, you know, I would really like to try for a girl. And Pavitt's basically being like, absolutely not. No more kids. Shop is closed. And, you know, I kind of don't blame them. They're in New York City. It's got to be so expensive the way that Jessel, too, is like demanding that these kids go to the most expensive schools and they probably wear like designer clothes. And it's just very posh. So Pavitt's probably like, okay, no, we've had enough. But he makes a statement, you know, where he says, if we have another Elon Musk, maybe, but not another Beyonce, like I'll take Elon Musk over Beyonce. And people are not liking that. I don't think that he's necessarily saying he likes Elon Musk's politics, but I think that he was saying like that he just wants to have, I don't know. I don't want to try to defend him there. But as you guys know too, like I don't think Beyonce is like the end all be all of like, what's the word? Aspiration. Okay, yes, I'm not going to take away her success. Like of course she's an amazing singer and artist and stuff. I'm talking about Beyonce as a person. I don't really like her marriage with Jay-Z. I've heard a lot of rumors about Jay-Z. I think if you guys don't know what happened in the elevator that night, Solange was fighting him because he had cheated on Beyonce. Like I understand, like we all know the Lemonade album. We know Beyonce got cheated on, but I don't know. It's a mix between staying together for the family and also like I don't know. To each their own. I don't like them. I don't like Jay-Z. And I think that makes me not like Beyonce because it's like you're guilty by association. So yeah. Okay, back to the trailer. Trouble in Paradise with Aaron and Abe.
Why are you so upset about it?
All the pigeon I'm good with. We didn't need all the pigeon stuff.
She pregnant? That's why she's not drinking. She had this wild night and ended up getting pregnant by some other guy. What? You told her? What did you say? Being a pigeon. She's a Central Park pigeon lady. The pigeon gone fly. She wants to be a pigeon. You want the biggest pigeon.
They're definitely talking about Aaron being the pigeons.
I wish, Jesus, I wish. Why, Snake, nobody sees you coming. Josh, you're delusional. You might also Josh.
Okay, so I'm not the biggest Brynn fan. I know she's not trying to be like Sonia. I think that she is coincidentally just cast to be like the new Sonia, and she maybe subconsciously is acting even more like her. It is uncanny how much they are alike. Like they are like, it is truly what Sonia was probably like when she was Brynn's age. Like it is insane how much they are alike, and they both annoy me. Not that I don't like them. If I were to meet Sonia, meet Brynn, very lovely, probably fun as hell. I would love to kick back and like drink with them. But like they are annoying and also like hot messes. And I don't really like love hot messes.
call me Simon. If I'm a born and raised city person. Okay, city person. Please.
Ooh, okay, yeah. And then in that last scene, Aaron's, I mean, honestly, if I was born and raised in Manhattan too, I would be like, I'm not from the burbs. But okay, so that was a good trailer. I mean, a lot of people are being kind of like mixed signals about it, mixed feelings about it. I think that it's going to be good. I'm down to watch. So those are kind of my little thoughts throughout it. Aaron and Abe have that little thing, you know, they had the curse of the vow renewal. So whenever they do that, same with Whitney and Justin, they're also going through like, you know, ups and downs in their marriage. They did the vow renewal on their first season. Why people? When are our housewives going to learn to not do the vow renewals? I think the most famous it's got to be a competition between Shannon and Vicky for the most insane vow renewals. Vicky, when her and Don did theirs and got divorced, and then when Shannon and David, oh my God, did theirs. Yee! Scary. Okay. So that was a good watch. Let's go over now and watch the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City trailer and talk about it. I need to get the YouTube premium that my husband, he's at the login, but I gotta get rid of these ads, you guys. Sorry. So jank.
The season 5 trailer this year. It all starts in 3, 2, 1. Tour sport and been on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
So just real quick in the beginning of that trailer, all of those voices, you know, it's Heather, it's Lisa, it's Whitney, it's everybody's voices over. And kind of like last season when it was very alluding and like foreshadowing like of a fight that's going on probably later in the season. And it's basically alluding to the fact that Whitney has been reaching out to Monica. Yes, Monica Garcia, that one. And has been trying to get maybe further information about really what went down last season and getting some more proof about maybe what was said about her behind her back. And I mean, it looks like things are going to come out. And in the beginning of that too, of the trailer, Bravo did this cute little thing like for their promo where like all of the girls have kind of like their own, like, I don't want to say like symbols or like they have their own like kind of like the Spice Girls, how they have their own like identities. So we have Heather with the receipt and she's like holding up the big long like CVS receipt. And then it's Lisa Barlow and she's like sipping a Diet Coke from Wendy's. And then it's Meredith in the bathtub. And then they get to Whitney. And it's Whitney. And I saw this hilarious meme that was like, everybody has like their own, and it's kind of like highlighting this, right? It's like a picture. It's like basically what I just described is the meme. And it's everybody with their thing, like Heather with the receipt, Lisa with the Diet Coke, and then Meredith in the bathtub. And then it's Whitney, and it's just Whitney and her like crazy ass haircut bob that she's doing this season. And what is it about Whitney? Like Whitney and Gina are very similar where they like just cannot get the hair right. Like they need to fire their gays, they need to fire their team, and they need to get the proper hair going on for these confessionals. It's getting a little wacky over there. But so Whitney has this bob, and then I think it was Bravo and Botox, which I'm sure you guys follow, and like they have the best roundups of hilarious memes. But they posted one that was like Bobney. And it was like, and Whitney has Bob. I've been thinking about that Bobney. Like I've been calling people Bobney. I've been writing the word Bobney under all of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City memes of her. And it's just funny that like all of them have their things and Whitney doesn't really like have anything. She just has got her bad hair. So I thought that was funny. Maybe Whitney should have had the stripper pole, or maybe Whitney should have had like a napkin because she's so messy. Something. So, okay, back to the trailer.
Stars. I love that. Do you love that? Listening. Dirt.
So yes, Mary Cosby is back, you guys. She's back as a full-time housewife. And again, that's pretty controversial too, because I think Andy, maybe it's even in their contract, or it's just a rumor that it's in the housewives' contracts that if they do not show up to the reunion and they refuse to film, they're fired. So I think that's what happened to Mary back in season 2, and she refused to come in and film the reunion. She was then fired and let go for season 3. And then she was back as a friend of for season 4. And now it's season 5. Right? Are we on season 5? Yes. And I have to double check. Yeah, season 5. And she's back to being a real full-time housewife. I think this might have a lot to do with the fact that her son has had these controversial issues. If you guys don't remember, he was posting some like really scary and dangerous photos of him holding guns and doing drugs. Allegedly. I don't know if it's like allowed on YouTube anymore, but all of these crazy pictures of him came out. Remember, he like married his girlfriend and didn't tell Mary. They were living in the house. They were also having like sex in the house. So yeah, this guy's a little bit of an issue, and it looks like Mary finally sits down, and he does say his quote in the trailer is, "I feel like a stain." We're probably going to get to that point, but the fact that Mary's back as a full-time housewife is kind of blowing my mind. I'm gonna need a Mary takedown. Meredith. Well, we'll get to it.
Bronwyn is everything you could want in a friend. She's funny. She's witty. She's got the best wardrobe. Bronwyn is not here to make friends.
New housewife alert. Another Bronwyn.
If you don't have my support, you don't gotta take it. You don't have that with me. Something never happened to you.
It's shot like a stain.
You have to know I love you more than anything. Like, I don't bet for sitting game till 2 a.m. He's talking about my parenting. I'm a great mom. That's a blow. I do think you've been a good friend to me. Like,
Ooh, okay. I am not prepared for my mothers, Angie K and Lisa Barlow, to be fighting. So I'm not sure what the context is, but it looks like, Angie K and Heather are laying in her bed in that scene. And Angie says something along the lines of, "My daughter needs me. She can't just be up gaming till 2 a.m. That's obviously a dig at Lisa and Baby Gorgeous. We know that Lisa's 2 sons, Jack and Henry, Jack is away on his mission and on his Mormon mission, which again is why I love this franchise. Love the Mormonness of it all. And I also love that Lisa is a born Jew who transitioned, or not transitioned, but converted to being a Mormon. Crazy. Religion is wild. So they are going to be fighting, it looks like. They're alluding to them being to a fight. I don't know why Angie K is coming for Lisa yet. We're not sure if Lisa started it, so I don't want to pick sides yet. I mean, I love them both equally. I cannot possibly choose. So I'm hoping that they're going to be able to figure it out. The fact that Angie does come for the sons, I mean, that is Housewives 101, like off limits. Like, you cannot talk about the children. And I don't know, again, like, I don't know if Lisa said something about Electra first. Electra is Angie K's daughter. I'm just not sure like where this is coming from, but I don't know. I'm very curious to find out like how they started getting into this fight. And do not come for Baby Gorgeous, my little fresh wolf baby. I love the Barlow family. I love those kids. I love Lisa. And I have to imagine, like, at this time and place in life, I'm unsure if I will have children. And I think that if I were to at this point, like, I don't know, I'm going to be, obviously really old. This is like Janet Jackson at this point. But if I do decide to have them, I think I would be very Lisa-esque. I would be very Lisa-coded as a mother. Like, I am, not necessarily in the sense of not cooking and not being like home. Like, I'm a Cancer and I have a lot of Cancer in my chart, and I'm just like a very like homebody. Actually, like, I love to be home. I love to make a nice home. I like to be a wife. I like to do all of these things. So I think I would, naturally fill that role as a mother. And I'm very caring to my Candy, who's been here with me. Recording, of course, as always, my co-host. So it's just like, I know I have that, but I think more in the sense of like just being non-traditional, letting them make their own decisions, wanting them to like start kind of businesses and like having their own things when they're younger. And like, I don't know, I kind of like love her as a mom. So I don't think it's cool that Angie K is coming for her motherhood.
You're not all the victim. No, look at that, okay? Yeah, you've been with me for 3 years. I got that. You're smoking, you're stalking yourself. Leave me alone. Get out of my house. You shouldn't open up to anyone in this world. And I'm sure she can hear me now. Never be me. Oh my God.
Oh, okay, it doesn't look like Heather is going to be like two in the mix this season. Even though she's holding the center snowflake, I don't think that she's going to have like too much of her own drama, which is kind of good. I think also like Bravo really sunk their chips or put a lot of chips on Heather, and then she kind of started to like flop a little bit. So maybe they are going to give her a good edit this season, especially because she delivered so much on the Monica storyline last year. So it's very interesting. I'm not really sure what's going to be going on with Heather very much, but it looks like, yeah, we've got this huge fight too that they're showing of Whitney and Lisa going down in flames. That was very clear to me that was a very strategic housewife, that Lisa really only befriended Whitney because her and Meredith were feuding. And I think that she is obviously not that close with Heather. So I think she was kind of like afraid of losing her snowflake. So I'm really happy to see Meredith and Lisa getting back together. I'm really happy also to see Meredith and Mary feuding in the trailer, because I don't like Mary and I love Meredith. So I want to see Meredith hopefully not get totally like swallowed up by Mary this season. One of my favorite Real Housewife taglines, though, I got to give it to Mary in the season 1 when she said, "I love God, but I'll read you like scripture." That's a fucking good one. That's a good one. Okay, so, all right, I want to show you guys one more trailer if you're still here with me. If you're still here with me on this journey, I'm already an hour and 4 minutes into this podcast, and I haven't even gotten to my number 4 most talked about moment. So like I said, this is going to be a supersized episode because I missed you guys last week. So I have a lot to say. Okay, I want to watch the Real Housewives of Orange County mid-season trailer with you guys. It just dropped today, and I have opinion.
I'm safe. Oh. This is the biggest scandal. Nobody knows who the real Brian is.
Oh, okay. So it starts with a bang. In that first scene there, that first little montage, they show Ryan is Jen's boyfriend, remember? Jen Pedontri's boyfriend, Ryan Boynahan, I want to say. Now, again, I just saw them at the Real Housewives watch party. I was just like standing at the bar next to them weeks ago. I mean, they seem perfectly fine and normal in real life. But okay, so this is the thing with what's going on with Ryan. So this is a very controversial thing. It obviously, if you guys don't understand the lawsuit that's going on with him, Ryan was working with this guy named, now I'm going to get the names wrong because they're hard to pronounce. Let's see. Let's just read an actual article from Deadline just to fully understand what's going on here. Ryan Boynahan, who along with fiancée Jennifer Pedonte appears on The Real Housewives of Orange County, is reportedly caught up in the $16 million gambling and theft scandal surrounding the former interpreter of Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani. So Shohei Ohtani, again, is the pitcher of the Dodgers, the LA Dodgers, and he doesn't speak English, so he has an interpreter that helps him work with the team. Ryan was working with this Japanese pitcher's interpreter. Okay, are you following me? Okay, so the interpreter's name is Mizuhara. Mizuhara today agreed to plead guilty to 2 federal charges related to the theft of nearly $17 million from the Dodger slugger's bank account. Prosecutors say Mizuhara used that money to pay off illegal gambling debts. So the interpreter was stealing money from the LA Dodger to pay Ryan back. He owed Ryan money. Ippei Mizuhara, 39, could face more than 30 years in federal prison under the plea deal, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Per ESPN, Mizuhara's illegal bookmaker told the Interpreter he could pay his gambling debts by wiring money to Associate One, and according to ESPN, Associate One is Ryan. A statement from the office of the United States Attorney Martin Estrada contends Mizuhara regularly logged into Ohtani's bank account and initiated wire transfers from the account to the bookmaker and his associates as payments for gambling debts. For example, on June 20th, 2023, Mizuhara accessed the account without Ohtani's permission and transferred $500,000 to one of the bookmaker's associates, allegedly Ryan. Ryan's lawyer told ESPN because there is an active investigation and Ryan is working with the authorities, he cannot confirm or deny what is going on, but he is not a bookmaker or a sub-bookie. So he's denying the allegations, you guys. Moynihan and the alleged bookmaker, or the alleged illegal bookmaker in question, Matthew Boyer, reportedly laundered Mizuhara's payments through marker accounts at casinos. After depositing the payments, Moynihan and Boyer then withdrew the chips from the marker accounts, gambled with them, and if they won, cashed out. That's money laundering, you guys. Multiple sources told the outlet that Moynihan received immunity in return for his testimony. So that is probably why he's being so cocky about all of this. Maybe he did something, maybe he didn't, but he's protected and he's not going to have any type of jail time or have any problem. So, okay, the only victim in this is the LA Dodger. Thank God. I'm not excusing that, but nobody died here. So I think this is controversial and not a good look, but I don't think it's the end of the world. And in the trailer, well, I guess we'll get to it because I literally even forgot I was even showing it. Okay, let's finish watching the trailer.
Still to come this season on The Real Housewives of Orange County. We're not invited.
You know why. Oh, still to come. And this is the mid-season trailer. Looks like Eddie, or looks like Ryan maybe bashes Eddie. Like, what is Ryan going to say about Eddie?
You have to drive. You think that's fine? This is bull.
Okay, so Gina and Katie are fighting. Gina's calling Katie a liar. I'm calling it now. Katie will not be back for another season.
Show that move. Are you kidding me? Respect my relationship. This guy's a piece of shit.
Her hate, some jealousy, and insecurity.
Leave my family alone. You know what? Alexis Polino is perfect for John Hanson. Passive aggressive. He's aggressive. Nothing passive about that one.
Okay, so not like a ton of juice coming up. It looks like we're going to get some final closure with what happens with Gina and Katie. Gina's going to side with Heather. I kind of like Heather and Gina's relationship. I love Heather, so my bougie cringy mama, love her. So yeah, those were the 3 trailers I wanted to watch with you guys. Again, it's raining trailers. There were actually 2 more that I wanted to talk about. One that's been out and a potential one. Another trailer that dropped is the House of Villains trailer. The only thing I really cared about from that was the part where New York Tiffany Pollard is screaming to Teresa and being like, welcome to New York. And then Teresa's going, kiss my ass to Tiffany. So I can't wait to see them fight. I cannot wait to see them fight. There's also a part where Janice Dickinson comes into the House of Villains and Teresa doesn't know who she is and looks like Janice is about to read her. So you will see. And then I am dying to get the Southern Charm trailer. You guys, where is it? I need it. I'm dying for it. I know there's tons of trailers out. Maybe they're saving that one for next month. But I am on a Southern Charm rewatch. I just watched the whole first season again. I'm quite literally obsessed. And I can't wait to talk about it on a bonus episode. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so I will release you guys from the chokehold I had on the trailers my number 5 most talked about moment of the week, where just all these trailers dropping. I mean, trailers everywhere, lots of good things coming up in the future. So my number 4 most talked about moment of the week is, let's go, we're staying in the Bravo sphere here. We need to talk about Andy versus Brandy, because there's been some new developments and some new things that have came out this week. So we know that Brandy has been pretty upset with Andy Cohen for a while. Brandy Glanville, Andy Cohen. Brandy's not happy because of the way that she was treated after all of this stuff that went down in Morocco on the Real Ultimate Girls trip with Caroline Manzo. And, we know something is going on there. I think 2 things can be true at the same time with this. I think Brandy was sloppy, disgusting, and probably forced herself on Caroline. I also think Caroline probably, I'm not saying that, like, I don't want to discount her, whatever, but I just don't believe that Brandy would really be trying to, like, sexually assault anybody. I think that she just is, she's like icky, messy, and she just acts insane. And again, she posted this thing to her Instagram that says, like, create the villain, praise the villain, promote the villain, and then destroy the villain. Like, she is kind of right. Like, Bravo did, Andy especially did really glorify a lot of her behavior. They kept hiring her back. She knew she was being, like, typecasted, and she was playing the role that she was there to play. So did she cross the line a few times? Yes, but I also think that's also on production a little bit too. There's just a lot of gray area there. So like I said, 2 things can be true at the same time. I'm on Andy's side here, you guys. Like, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I love Andy, and I think that he, in his mind, I think he thought of Brandy as a friend, not as an employee, which again is probably like his fault for blurring the lines. But again, we know that this is not like a typical, Andy's not like a typical, he's really like family to these ladies. So you can't look at him as like the CEO of Coca-Cola and his employees. That's not the same thing as Andy and the Housewives. They are more than coworkers. They are friends in real life. They all hang out outside of the shows. And I think, especially after, like, there would be no Brandy Glanville without Andy Cohen. So I think that she's just, again, like, she's like, it's like with vampires, you can't, like, that's your maker. Like, where's your respect? So, I understand if privately she wanted to handle this with him, and, she should have just went about this differently. The thing that really has people talking this week is that the video leaked, which was a screen recording of a FaceTime that Andy and Kate Chastain called Brandy one night. And, they're clearly out on the town. Like, that's not illegal. So they're out, they're drinking, they're having fun, and they either call Brandy, or I'm not sure what prompted them to reach out to Brandy. They're all friends maybe. And I don't really know exactly like how, whatever. But anyways, they call Brandy, or they're talking to Brandy on FaceTime, or they're leaving her a FaceTime message or something. And they say to her, we're going to fuck, and we wanted to FaceTime you so you could watch. Like, that to me is a funny joke, because first of all, Andy is a gay man who does not sleep with women. So even evoking the thing that, like, yeah, we're going to fuck, like, that to me would be like me and my gay, like, calling my husband and being like, baby, we're about to fuck. Like, is it kind of poor taste? Yeah. Is it like kind of like crass? Yeah. But it's a joke. It is a joke. So they make a joke about fucking and having Brandy watch. Like, I don't think that that's disgusting as friends. Now, again, the gray area here is that it is an employee technically that he's calling and saying this stuff to while hanging out with another employee. So that is where all of the controversy really stands for. And I think where she maybe has a case in all of this. So they call her, they leave her this thing, they say this, and then Kate is actually the one that says, yeah, kind of like a threesome. Insinuating that, like, okay, we're going to fuck, you're going to watch. This is kind of like a threesome. And they're laughing, and they're like walking down the street. This is a very like casual video. It's not like they're sitting there naked and they're like, ooh, we want to watch. They weren't like calling to proposition her. So they say these things to her, and she, she records this. And then there's another part. What do they say in the end? Maybe we should watch the video, right? This is like kind of the theme of the, I don't know if I can find it quickly. Let's see here.
We also use that work tonight. We're going to talk about you the whole time. So I have to listen. So loud in like 90 minutes or 2 hours. Do you want to watch this? Can you get rid of it? Sorry. Wi-Fi, strong Wi-Fi. Yeah, strong Wi-Fi. His Wi-Fi strong. Love you, Brandy.
Bye. Andy Cohen sent this video obtained by the U.S.
put out there. So there's some texts that are Brandy and Andy texting him saying, I think that you should maybe try to hook up with Austin. I think he's into you. Her being like, yeah, he's DM'd me a bunch of times. So has Shep. I don't really like the blondes. She kind of goes on to say, I wish that there were more male options on Bravo that were straight or not married. It's like, she's kind of like, she's not saying like, please don't text me these things. Or like, I understand when it's your boss, like you don't want to like make them feel weird. I don't know. The whole situation's not great. There's another text where Andy says, I think my stage manager has eyes for you. I'm kind of hoping that you guys like hooked up. And she again kind of says like, not really my type or something. So Andy's just always trying to play matchmaker. He loves connecting people and putting people together. He's constantly, even a couple nights ago, the skateboarding gold medalist on from the Olympics, and Julianne Hough is single, and he was hooking them up. Like he just does that. He's a matchmaker. He wants people to like, I don't know, I think because he's single, like maybe he gets joy in like getting other people to like hook up or hang out or have flings or get married, or he introduces people, it's like, let the man, I don't think that anything he's saying, he's not being like, oh, and I don't know. To me, if you're Delulu like Brandy, you're going to be upset about this stuff. So she's grasping for straws, but maybe she will have a case in some of this because, again, he's technically her employee and her friend. It's a lot of gray area. So that was my number 4 most talked about moment of the week, you guys. Okay, so let's cruise over into my number 3 most talked about moment. I don't have much to say about this one because I honestly am not too happy about it, but we have The Bachelor announcing that they have chosen Grant as our next Bachelor. And, I was famously disappointed when they chose Jen to The Bachelorette, and it's turned out to be a pretty good season. Maybe we're just going to have to wait and see the women that they choose and like how they're going to make this a really good season. But I am going to need there to be high energy. I'm going to need there to kind of he's not like this goofy, outgoing personality like Jen is. So that's why I've enjoyed watching her so much. I don't know. I'm just not feeling this announcement, you guys, to be honest. I'm more excited about thinking about the men that are going to be in Paradise. So I think I would have rather them have chosen Marcus to be the next Bachelor. But then they're making me think that maybe Jen chooses Marcus and that's why he's not going to be the next Bachelor. Because I don't think Marcus would like do that good in Paradise. So I'm curious if Marcus either turned it down, didn't want to do it, or if he's going to be in Paradise. Because I think he would have been a much better choice, or if he gets engaged to her. I got to know what's going on with Marcus's future. In this last episode, it was so heartbreaking. He's with Jen. He's telling her that his parents were 14 and 15 when they had him and his sister. And they took him to a hospital one day or a daycare. Of course, I'm kind of forgetting. And he just left him there. That is just one of those heartbreaking stories that we've seen on Bachelor. So this guy deserves love and family. Now, who I do think would be great, we have to have Sam in Paradise. I posted that clip to my Instagram this week of him saying that he's on this radio show and they put him on the spot and they're like, give us one word to describe what the fantasy suite will be like with you and Jen. And he said, aggressive. So we need Sam M to be in Paradise. And then we need Devin to also be in Paradise because we need them to feud. And then I also want to find them I also want to see them interact with other girls. I think Sam and Daisy could be a good couple. Am I weird for that? Daisy from Joey's Bachelor season. And then also Maria. So I thought it was interesting that Sam said that he thought maybe Maria was going to be the Bachelorette when he signed up. So did I. Jonathan, he's another one that I'm sure will be in Paradise if not chosen. Spencer, Austin. A lot of these guys are going to be popping up. I don't think Thomas. And no, maybe. They surprise me sometimes, these guys they bring in. So yeah, I'm really excited. I had to just talk about that. It was announced. It is big news. They also were really weird and shady about releasing any information about how he was. It was like a social media release and they never announced it. They usually do like a huge reveal. So I don't know why they chose to do that this year. Spoilers maybe. Okay. So yeah, number 3 most talked about moment of the week. Grant will be the next Bachelor. We have the Bachelorette finale, I believe, in 2 weeks. I think they probably do a guy tells all. Let's find out actually. Bachelorette. Ooh, let's see here. Okay, double date at the end of August 19th, Bachelor episode that already aired. Fantasy Suites, Monday, August 26th, followed by the Men Tell All special, August. A 3-hour finale will air on Tuesday, September 3rd. This is likely due to Labor Day. All right, we will see September 3rd and how this season ends. Let's move over to my number 2 most talked about moment of the week. It's a big one. And I don't know how these people just constantly stay on top of mind for me, but we got to talk about Brittany and JAX. So JAX has been released from his mental health facility today. Word on the street is that Brittany wants nothing to do with him. And I'm just really curious, like, why doesn't Brittany file for divorce? What's going on here? They clearly hate each other, and it's been over a year of this. So if not longer. So I'm really curious why Brittany hasn't filed yet. I saw a thing today saying that they have put a banner over JAX's Studio City and now it says Brit's Studio City. Kind of petty and funny. I don't like Brittany, as you guys know, so I'm having a hard time rooting for her. I have to just see how this all plays out. I don't want to speculate too much, and I'm also trying not to look on Reddit, and I don't want to know any true spoilers. There have been some rumors about what happened with JAX, which was the final straw of him going into this facility. I think Bravo and production, especially for Vanderpump Rules, after everything that happened with Rachel, they are going to be taking a lot of this stuff seriously. It seems like JAX must have some kind of mental breakdown, and or I don't know if he's been on a bender and it's a substance abuse related issue, allegedly. I'm not sure. I have heard, again, allegedly, that he maybe got not violent with anybody, but he may have been throwing things. He might have been punching holes in walls. He might have been flipping tables. Something where he got physical, but didn't really get physical with anybody else. Where production maybe was okay, we have got to get him help. I also think it might have something to do with, again, substances, and maybe they saw something that, I don't know, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, you guys. And I'm not saying that I'm not sure because I don't know, or because I'm trying to not say it. I really don't know. So I want to wait and see. It doesn't feel right to be piling on JAX when he's getting out of rehab. So I want to just wait and see what's going on. I also feel like Brittany loves to be the victim, and this is her husband. It kind of does seem like she's kind of abandoning him. I don't know. It's then divorce him. You can't stay married to him and then just drag him. So I'm having mixed feelings, as you guys can tell. I'm sure a lot of people don't agree with me. I know everyone hates JAX, but I don't know. This feels icky to me, and I don't feel relishing in this time that he's struggling is smart. I think it was Brittany in rehab when we were doing this. That would be so fucked up. So, there's always that perspective of if it was me, if it was them. But yeah, I don't love it. So yeah, I mean, I want to go back just to kind of talk about the idea of these kind of these Bravo characters that are just so self-sabotaging, and it's you can't really understand sometimes their psyche and why they make the moves that they make. And especially Tamara right now is getting so much heat for the way that she's handling stuff with Shannon. And I get it when you're okay, she's not being a good friend, but there is, again, this fourth wall breaking of being a good friend and being a good housewife are different. And you have to do things that kind of make you not a good friend in order to be a good housewife. And I just think that it's kind of this kamikaze style housewifing. And there's been a lot of housewives like this. Kenya's a good example. Bethany, Renna, Adriana from Miami, even Kelly Dodd, these characters that they are so almost vile. You're oh my God, how do they not see how awful they are? But it's we kind of need them. We need these people to be unabashed villains. We need the villains. So I don't know. I just want everyone to take it easy on Tamara and take it easy on JAX and kind of these villains. We got to take care of our villains. Okay, yeah, that was my number 2 most talked about moment of the week, is basically just the fact that we have all this stuff going on with Brittany and JAX, and people are really curious and no one's really sure what's going on. So before we get into my number 1 most talked about moment of the week, I'm going to have a really awesome treat and surprise. Not really a surprise. I've been teasing for a long time that I was going to start having guests on. So I'm going to be having my friend and fellow Bravo holic and just reality TV fan. She also loves Bachelor, Love is Blind, like so many other shows too. Her name is Joanne, and she's going to be joining me to talk about my number one most talked about moment of the week, which is the Love Island reunion. We're going to take a break and we'll be back with Joanne to talk about
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down